Rugby is a sport of passion, power, and skill, where every moment on the field is charged with adrenaline and anticipation. It's a game that brings together people from all walks of life, uniting them in the pursuit of victory and the thrill of competition. Played by two teams of 15, all fighting to score more points by crossing the try line, rugby is a test of both physical endurance and mental toughness. Each try, conversion, and tackle is a testament to the player's dedication and relentless drive to succeed. The game demands not just strength, but strategy and teamwork, qualities that have made it a global spectacle. Coaches and players spend countless hours perfecting plays, analyzing opponents, and building trust within the squad. It's this blend of brains and brawn that makes rugby so captivating to millions around the world. Among all teams, the New Zealand All Blacks stand as legends, known for their all-black kit and a legacy of dominance. Their reputation is built on decades of excellence, with a winning record that is the envy of the rugby world. Their pre-match haka, a traditional Maori challenge, is a fierce display of heritage and unity, electrifying fans and intimidating opponents. The thunderous chants and powerful movements echo through stadiums, creating an atmosphere unlike any other in sports. The haka is more than ritual, it's a declaration of intent and a symbol of their identity. It connects the team to their roots, honors their ancestors, and sends a clear message. They are ready for battle, and they play with heart and pride. The All Blacks' relentless success and humility have set the standard in world rugby. Their sportsmanship, respect for opponents, and commitment to excellence inspire players and fans everywhere, making them true ambassadors of the game. Facing them is the ultimate test, and their fame extends far beyond the sport itself. The All Blacks are celebrated not just for their victories, but for the way they play, with integrity, passion, and a deep sense of responsibility to their legacy. The All Blacks are not just a team, they are the benchmark every nation aspires to beat, a symbol of rugby's enduring spirit, and a source of inspiration for generations to come. On November 8, 2025, Murrayfield Stadium in Edinburgh pulsed with anticipation as Scotland prepared to face the mighty All Blacks. The crowd, draped in blue, sang with hope. Scotland had never beaten New Zealand in 120 years, but today felt different. For Scotland, this was a shot at history, a chance to inspire generations. The All Blacks, led by new coach Scott Robertson, arrived as favourites, but knew Murrayfield's energy could tip the scales. The underdog Scots played with nothing to lose. The All Blacks carried the weight of legacy. As anthems rang out, the contrast was clear. Hope versus expectation. The world watched, wondering, would the All Blacks' dominance continue, or could Scotland finally break the curse? The stage was set for a clash that would be remembered. From the opening whistle, the All Blacks asserted their dominance with speed and precision. Within minutes, Cam Roigard sliced through Scotland's defence for the first try, silencing the crowd. New Zealand's relentless pressure kept Scotland pinned back, their forwards controlling scrums and lineouts. The Scots defended bravely, but struggled to gain possession or territory. Just before halftime, Will Jordan finished a sweeping move for a second try, pushing the lead to 17-0. The All Blacks were clinical, efficient, and in total control. For Scottish fans, hope faded as the familiar script played out. The question wasn't if New Zealand would win, but by how much. The All Blacks looked untouchable, their victory seemingly inevitable. But rugby is a game of two halves, and the story was far from over. The second half began with a shift, an almost imperceptible change in the air, as if the tension in the stadium had been wound tighter. The All Blacks, so dominant in the first half, now faced a Scottish side that emerged from the tunnel with a new sense of purpose and belief. Scotland, with nothing to lose and everything to prove, attacked with renewed ferocity. Their passes were sharper, their runs more determined, and their commitment to every ruck and tackle was unmistakable. They won physical battles, disrupted the All Blacks at the breakdown, and forced mistakes that had seemed unthinkable just minutes earlier. The Scottish forwards in particular began to dominate the contact area, stealing possession and unsettling the rhythm of the New Zealanders. The crowd roared as New Zealand's composure faltered. Each Scottish surge was met with a wave of noise, fueling the home side's momentum. Dropped passes, missed tackles, and poor decisions crept in for the All Blacks, cracks appearing in their usually impenetrable defence. Scotland built phases, holding the ball and testing the All Blacks' defense for the first time in the match. Their patience and discipline in attack forced New Zealand to defend for long stretches, something they rarely had to do. Crucially, New Zealand's discipline unraveled. Players argued with the referee, frustration etched on their faces as the pressure mounted. Conceding penalties that allowed Scotland to gain ground, the All Blacks handed their opponents both territory and belief. Each whistle from the referee was met with cheers from the stands as Scotland edged closer to the try-line. Coach Scott Robertson later admitted, "We got 3 yellow cards. Self-control let us down." His concern was visible on the sideline as he watched his team struggle to regain their composure. Each penalty was a crack in the All Blacks' armor, and Scotland's confidence soared with every small victory. The scoreboard began to reflect the shift, the gap narrowing as the minutes ticked by. The once dominant visitors now looked vulnerable, their lead under threat for the first time. The pressure was mounting, and the sense of inevitability that had surrounded the All Blacks began to fade. The crowd sensed a shift. Murrayfield believed again. The energy in the stadium was electric, every Scottish attack greeted with hope and anticipation. The All Blacks were no longer in control. The momentum had swung decisively in Scotland's favor, and the visitors found themselves on the back foot. They were fighting to survive, scrambling in defense and searching for answers as the Scottish onslaught continued. The momentum had swung and the game was wide open. Suddenly, anything felt possible at Murrayfield. The All Blacks' discipline collapsed, and the consequences were immediate. Leroy Carter's yellow card left New Zealand a man down, and Scotland pounced, stretching the defense. Soon after, Captain Ardie Savea was also sent to the sin bin, compounding the pressure. Before Savea could return, Wallace Sititi joined them, reducing the All Blacks to just 13 players. Scotland, with a 2-man advantage, attacked relentlessly. The All Blacks' famed composure vanished, replaced by desperation. Coach Robertson watched as his team's self-control evaporated at the worst moment. The 3 yellow cards were a collective failure, handing Scotland momentum and hope. Murrayfield erupted, sensing a historic upset. The All Blacks were on the ropes, their lead slipping away. Sensing a rare vulnerability, Scotland unleashed wave after wave of relentless attack against the depleted All Blacks. The Scottish players surged forward with renewed belief, their passes crisp, their tackles ferocious, and their determination visible in every movement. The All Blacks, usually so composed, found themselves scrambling to contain the onslaught, their legendary defense stretched to its limits. The crowd's roar grew deafening, fueling the Scottish intensity as they powered over for a crucial try. No longer intimidated by the black jersey, the players fed off the energy of thousands of fans who believed they were witnessing something special. The stadium vibrated with hope and pride, every supporter on their feet, willing their team forward. Scotland struck again, their confidence swelling with each phase. They erased the deficit and leveled the score at 17-all, sending shockwaves through the stadium and the rugby world. The scoreboard told the story. Scotland, once trailing, now stood toe-to-toe with the mighty All Blacks. The stadium exploded in celebration. Scotland had clawed back from the brink against the world's best. Fans hugged strangers, flags waved, and the noise was almost overwhelming. It was a moment that would be remembered for generations. Captain Sione Tuipulotu, his voice thick with emotion, later said, "We showed what we're capable of, even if the result hurt." His words captured the pride and heartbreak of a team that had given everything on the field, refusing to back down in the face of rugby's most storied side. With momentum on their side and time running out, Scotland pressed for a historic win. Every pass, every ruck, every decision was loaded with tension. The players pushed themselves to the limit, knowing they were on the verge of rewriting history. The All Blacks looked exhausted, their confidence visibly shaken. For perhaps the first time, doubt crept into their eyes as they struggled to regain control. The pressure of the occasion weighed heavily on them, and mistakes began to creep in. For the first time in 120 years, a Scottish victory over New Zealand felt within reach. The fans sensed it too. Hope and nerves mingled in the air, every heart pounding with anticipation. The comeback was a testament to Scotland's character and the All Blacks' unraveling discipline. Tempers flared, decisions were questioned, and the intensity on the field reached a fever pitch. The match was poised for a dramatic finish. Every second felt like an eternity as both teams battled for supremacy, neither willing to concede an inch. History hung in the balance. The outcome was uncertain, the tension almost unbearable, as the world watched to see if Scotland could complete the unthinkable. Could Scotland complete the impossible? The answer would come in the final, heart-stopping moments of a match that had already become legendary. With the scores tied and minutes left, All Blacks coach Scott Robertson turned to his bench, and Damian McKenzie delivered. McKenzie's energy and composure steadied the team, and his unpredictable running unsettled the Scottish defence. With 7 minutes to go, he calmly slotted a penalty, nudging New Zealand ahead 20-17. Scotland launched one last desperate attack, but the All Blacks' defence held firm. In the dying moments, McKenzie seized his chance, sprinting clear to score the game-winning try. His late heroics sealed a dramatic victory and broke Scottish hearts. McKenzie's impact was undeniable. He turned a near disaster into triumph. The All Blacks had survived, thanks to a substitute's brilliance. It was a reminder that in rugby, one moment can change everything. Edinburgh had witnessed a classic. After the match, coach Scott Robertson was relieved but unsatisfied. He praised his team's resilience, especially their defense with just 13 men. "We could have rolled over, but we didn't," he said, acknowledging their fighting spirit. Yet, he was blunt about the second-half collapse in discipline. 3 yellow cards, self-control must improve. Robertson knew that against top teams, such lapses would be punished. The All Blacks had made the game harder than it needed to be, relying on late heroics instead of control. The win felt more like a warning than a celebration. Robertson's message was clear. Standards must be higher, and discipline must return. The All Blacks escaped with victory, but the lesson was harsh. The champions had been given a wake-up call. The All Blacks' narrow escape at Murrayfield underscored the vital importance of discipline. No matter how talented, a team's focus and self-control are what secure victory. 3 yellow cards nearly cost them the match. Small mistakes, massive consequences. For Scotland, the heartbreak was mixed with pride. They'd proven they could challenge the best. Captain Tuipulotu called it a tough pill, but the belief was real. The match was a masterclass in how discipline, or the lack of it, can swing momentum. The All Blacks learned they are not invincible. Scotland learned they are closer than ever. Both teams left with lessons that will shape their futures. For fans, it was a reminder. Discipline is the foundation of greatness. Rugby's drama endures because, in the end, it's not just about skill, but about heart, control, and belief.